One day, it just stops. The monsters under the bed disappear, the scraped knees don't lead to tears, and the constant calls for mom or dad fade into a quiet, efficient silence. Everyone around you says the same thing. Wow, they're finally growing up. You're so lucky to have such an easy kid. You feel a surge of pride, maybe even a little relief. But while the world sees a milestone, a psychologist sees a tragedy in slow motion. Because children only become independent in two ways. There is the healthy path, where a child feels so safe and so supported that they naturally begin to spread their wings. And then there is the dangerous path, the one that starts when a child subconsciously learns that needing you isn't safe. Maybe you were too busy. Maybe the house was too loud, or maybe you were going through your own storm. Whatever the reason, that child started budgeting their feelings. They looked at their own needs and whispered, "I'm sorry, we can't afford that right now." This is how the easy child is born. They become the dream student, the one who never complains, the one who is always fine. But they aren't maturing, they are compressing. They're zipping themselves up like a suitcase overflowing with clothes, pulling the zipper until it screams just to make sure they don't take up too much space. They've learned that silence is rewarded with peace, and that being cheap to love is the only way to stay in the house. But the most heartbreaking part is when the roles flip. Suddenly, your 10-year-old is the one diffusing the tension before dinner. They're the ones checking on you when you look stressed. They've been promoted to assistant parent with a salary of 0 and a stress level of a CEO. People call them an old soul, but that's just a poetic way of saying a child has seen way too much, way too soon. That isn't wisdom, that's a childhood ending in real time. And that wiring doesn't just go away, it follows them into adulthood, puts on a blazer, and calls itself professionalism, or being the reliable one. They grow up able to be useful, but terrified of being loved. They pick partners who need saving because giving is the only language they speak. If they stop holding everything together, they're convinced the entire world will shatter, and it will be their fault. If you see this in your child, or if you see it in the mirror, please understand, being low maintenance is not a virtue, it's a symptom. The child who grew up too fast didn't need to be mature, they needed someone to notice the weight they were carrying before it became permanent. It's never too late to say the one sentence that changes everything. "I've noticed you carry a lot, you don't have to do that here." Let them be messy, let them be expensive, let them finally, for the first time, be a child. We often mistake survival for success. We look at the straight-A student, the overachiever, the one who never asks for help, and we think we've won at parenting. But under the surface of that mature exterior lies a nervous system that never learned how to rest. This is the architecture of load-bearing childhood, and it is a blueprint for lifelong burnout. When a child learns that their needs are a liability, their brain rewires itself for scarcity. They stop being a person and start being a function. This is why 20 years later, they can't sit through a vacation without feeling anxious. They rest by opening a new tab and aggressively researching productivity hacks. Why? Because to their nervous system, being useless feels like being dangerous. If they aren't producing, they don't believe they deserve to exist. This manifests as a specific kind of emotional airport security. They walk into a room and instantly scan for tension. Unresolved anger in the kitchen, sadness in the living room. I need to fix this before I'm allowed to relax. They didn't overreact to life, they over-adapted to it. Like a smoke alarm that won't stop ringing years after the toast was burnt. Their body is constantly scanning for a danger that left the building a decade ago. The cruelest part of this wiring is how it sabotages love. When someone loves an over-functioning person without asking for anything in return, it feels fake, it feels suspicious. They deflect compliments because they don't believe they are a person, they believe they are a resource. They wait for the other shoe to drop, wondering what the bill for this affection is going to be.
They either overfunction in relationships, resenting their partners for not helping while simultaneously refusing to let them help, or they shut down entirely, becoming a lone wolf because depending on someone else feels like walking on thin ice. Both are just different ways of avoiding the same fear, the fear of needing someone and having them not show up. If this lands for you, I want you to look at your life differently. You were never meant to be a load-bearing wall for everyone else's house. You were meant to be the person living inside. If your child is doing these things, apologizing for existing, mediating your conflicts, acting like a little adult, stop praising them for it. Start noticing them. It takes one sentence to start the rewiring. I've noticed you carry a lot. You don't have to do that here. It's a small seed, but planted things grow. You don't need to be mature to be worthy of care. You just need to be you. And if you're ready to learn how to fix this wiring, stick around for the next video, the 7 sentences that rewire your kid's brain, because the cycle ends with you.